What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching, oh my god, I almost said The Road to TF5. I've been doing so many episodes of The Road to TF5 that I'm so used to it. It's just very natural for me to say that, but I can't say that anymore because the web series ended. The web series ended at episode number 197, and it was a nearly 3-year-long journey. That's a long time, but it was a fun and exciting journey, and I can't thank you guys enough for coming along for the ride. But this episode is not, of course, The Road to TF5, but it's also not a review for the film. The review will come after this video, and the main reason why is because I think it's actually very important for me to tell parents what I need to tell them in this episode, or this video. I would like to call this video Transformers Last Night a Parental Advisory, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's an advisory for parents on making an informed decision on whether or not they think it's appropriate to take their kids to watch Transformers Last Night, because I know that I have a lot of young fans, and by young fans I mean kids 12 and under. And then I also have been receiving a number of messages from parents, first of all, thanking me for keeping my content very, very clean on YouTube, keeping it rated G, and keeping it accessible to their kids and kids of all ages, small and big kids, right? Because there's a lot of content on YouTube that is, not appropriate for kids. So I decided to maintain this level of I guess G-rated, a clean content for the kids, for the parents, for all audiences, so that it is something that you can trust your kids to watch on their own. So because of that, I think it's actually important for me to provide some information about this film, about whether or not you should take your kids to this movie. All right, so let's get right into it, and I will tell you first that this video contains no spoilers. There are no spoilers in this video, so you don't have to worry about that. Let's just start off by saying that if you're okay with with your kids watching Transformers 1, Revenge of the Fallen, Age of Extinction, and Dark of the Moon, then you should be okay with the content in Transformers Last Night. If you're okay with your kids watching any of the trailers and any of the TV spots for Transformers Last Night, you should be just fine with the content in Transformers Last Night. I would say that it's not that much different. It is really quite typical Michael Bay filmmaking, if you will. It's typical Michael Bay filmmaking. He's got a lot of his own trademarks from the comedy, the crude humor, and to the level of action. The level of action is insane, but it is very, very action-packed. I'll tell you that is really, really action-packed. But for kids, I'll tell you that during the middle of the film, there is an extended piece of exposition. That's where they do the exposition. I don't want to get into any details, but it's a little bit, it's dialogue driven. It's very, very dialogue driven. That's when I think that they might start getting a little bit antsy, a little bit bored, because the film starts off pretty action packed and it goes on for quite a while, and then suddenly it's exposition time, and this is when, it's time to take your kids to go pee or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you can expect. But then, of course, there's the final battle. Which brings me to talk about the type of action and violence there is in this movie. And it is, there are some times where it is quite intense. But I feel that, I think a lot of parents are concerned about the Bumblebee and Optimus fight. And I'm thinking that if you're okay with any of the content that you saw in the trailers where Bumblebee and Optimus were fighting, then I think you'll be okay with the movie. I mean, with the actual fight that takes place in the movie. Now, as for the Knights beating down Optimus Prime, once again, if you're okay with watching the TV spots or the trailers where you see Optimus Prime get beat down, then I think you should be okay with your kids watching the actual beatdown of Optimus Prime. It does go up a little bit. It does go up a notch a bit higher, like quite a few notches, though. But I think it's okay. All right, I do think it's okay. It does have its redeeming qualities. What else is there? Oh yeah, Michael Bay's brand of humor. Let's just get specifically to the crude humor. Is it appropriate for kids to listen to any of that humor in the dialogue? It's well, it's definitely not appropriate, but I think it will fly right by your kids. I think that it's not something they'll really pick up on. There is sexual innuendo in the in some of the dialogue on 3 separate occasions, but I don't think it's anywhere as bad as Sam's Happy Time or in Revenge of the Fallen, dogs humping and Wheelie humping Megan Fox's leg. I don't think it's anywhere as bad as that. It's just really like hinted innuendo. It's just like suggestive dialogue, but I'm pretty positive that it's just something that'll fly right by your kids and you won't really have to be concerned about that. As for the level of action and violence in the final battle, it's really not that much different from the previous ones. It's just a lot of stuff happening. It's just like a lot of action, and it's just almost like a big blur, to be completely honest, and I won't say much more than that. But I think you're good to go. I really think you're good to go. But that's all I have to say about that. It's got a lot of action. There's like 3 separate occasions of innuendo, and there's an extended sequence of exposition. That's when you can take your kids to go pee, and that is pretty much my advisory to the parents. So that's that. But I'm very happy to address that for you. I'm happy to address that concern. And by listening to what you know from me, then it is up to you to make an informed decision on whether you think it's okay to take your kids to watch the movie. There you have it. Anyways, that's all I gotta say in this video. I hope that was informative. And all I gotta say next is stay tuned for my review. I'm gonna keep it really, really real. 3 years of build-up, and I've been completely honest with my excitement for this film, and now it's time to be completely honest about how I really feel about this film. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna do a spoiler-free review next. Stay tuned for that. It's coming up next. My name is Alex Yu. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy it, hope you enjoyed. Hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, the Ragin Nation, and also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. But he said, "What the hell? I'm not doing that. I'm not ready." But then eventually they convinced him with bags of money, so then he signed back on board. As for Age of Extinction,